After 15 months of physical isolation and social and political upheaval, is that stuff working its way into your songwriting?
Yeah, I don't know. This year's been very difficult. It's been a lot of like inward work. A lot of us have had to, you can't go outside, but you can do the inward work. And yeah, it's the culmination of this being the JUNOs and being able to win. I don't know. It just, yeah, it makes all of this pandemic stuff less, icky.
Like, we're songwriters, and so we're really like just storytellers. And so not being able to experience stories to tell is kind of the hardest challenge, and just being stuck at home, finding different ways to get creative. So like, I found myself like watching movies, trying to get like song ideas out of them, or getting inspired by like old songs I used to listen to. But at a certain point where it's like you're just in the same environment constantly, it's very hard to feel inspired.
Tout le monde a eu à faire l'effort de couper le momentum. J'appelle ça le momentum, mais je pense que depuis le début d'une carrière de base, on suit dans un rythme effréné toujours une espèce de momentum. On veut se garder en vie. On finit une tournée, on fait un disque, on repart en tournée, on refait un autre disque, etc. Puis moi, j'avais décidé de faire une coupure moi-même de la ligne du temps. Puis ça m'avait permis de vraiment voir qui je suis comme artiste, comme auteur-compositeur, c'est quoi mes forces, mes faiblesses, mon identité. Puis je pense que la pandémie va avoir amené ça à la grande majorité des artistes.
I've decided to use the words isolation and COVID and all those things as they're going to be near, I don't want to be insensitive, near trigger words in the future, I think. So I'm just kind of breezing by this time and still talking about the things that are persistent in there from the beginning. That's family and experience and the joy of life and living it, because even in the slowdown, it still feels like a very blessed life that I'm living here. I'm fortunate to be taking the time to focus on my health and work on songs.
This time has really opened up a space for me to write with people that I have never been able to write with. And, I'm more available when it comes to co-writing. So I've been doing lots of that, which has been amazing. Online, it's like you're anywhere in the world, you're around, you're not on tour. Yeah. You could write a song with people. So writing songs with other people for them has been a brand new thing for me that I've been doing a lot of, and I love it.
The isolation's actually been really good for the songwriting. I hate to find a silver lining in such an immense black cloud, but there are very few distractions, so I just plug away doing what I love to do, which is playing, recording, working on songs.
Autre que ça, j'ai vraiment comme été focus sur comme ma vie, puis genre mon bien-être, puis genre mon estime de soi. Puis c'est plus ça mon focus pendant la pandémie. J'ai quand même fait des beats, mais c'était comme j'étais pogné à Montréal, je ne vais pas vraiment faire grand-chose, je ne vais pas vraiment travailler avec d'autres musiciens. C'est jusqu'à temps que j'ai comme décidé d'aller à LA en novembre, quand c'était durant la pandémie, que j'ai vu qu'il y a un grand boost. Puis là, j'ai vu qu'il y a un grand boost quand je me suis fait nominer toute seule, tu sais. Donc, ouais, c'est ça.
In such a strange year and a half, it feels like nothing's getting done. Everyone's just sort of spinning their wheels in place. And yet it turns out that somehow that isolation served me well. I mean, when we write records, I don't know, most people just have to sort of find a cave to crawl into and focus. So that's exactly what was able to happen through this period of time.
Yeah, this year was obviously a really challenging year for everybody in our industry. But we put our thinking caps on. We're like, okay, we can't deliver. It doesn't really feel right to try to deliver a bunch of like big rock and roll sweaty bangers that people would be like, dancing around to in a club or in an amphitheater. So we put those songs aside and we worked on this Campfire Chords record, which was supposed to be sort of like acoustic based music that you could listen to in your backyard or around a campfire or on the dock.
I think that we really, we're looking at a world changing so fast, and I think that we weren't obviously prepared for what 2020 was going to bring, but it was it felt like Pray For It. This was the only year that it could have been released in, you know? And so we felt very lucky that we had made an album that sort of acknowledged the chaos that was going on around us.
I think the whole year of 2020 is actually what inspired the I Pray, which is the song I was nominated for. Like, that song was literally to kind of give thanks and keep faith in God through hard times. And that was 100% inspired by COVID and the period that we had. And I think that definitely continues into my writing now, especially with the new project coming out and the new songs that I'm making. I mean, you write by experience, right? So it of course it influences my writing for sure.
At the outset of the pandemic, I decided that this is the time to write a record or a body of work all entirely in my own language, which is Deneke. And because I don't speak my language as a result of, you know, my mother went to residential school, and this is really significant for me to, and I've always used my own language in bits and pieces in my work. But as an artist and as a human, I narrowed in on how important it was to reclaim my language through art and to share that with the world. So this has been a significant year for me. I'm still in the writing process, and I am looking forward to being able to share those songs with people.
I mean, it's honestly slowed me down slightly, and it's allowed me to kind of like focus on things that are just like also very important other than music, because I spent a lot of time just like focusing on music and that's it. So it's really allowed me to completely like focus on myself and also the business side of things like signing my producers and all that stuff. So it's been a blessing in disguise, but it hasn't inspired me a whole lot.
You know, I just put out a song today actually that I wrote right after the protest for George Floyd in June 2020. And it's wild to think that the song just came out a year later, you know, for reasons that are beyond me, but I won't get into that. But regardless though, it's just important to think that like the world, I think where we're heading right now, we're all so influenced by each other's stories. You can't escape it, right? The internet is so much a part of everyone's lives, and we're just going to continue to ingest and internalize other people's stories. And I think that's going to bring us closer together. I truly believe so.
Writing songs has been my safe place and my escape this past year. Absolutely. To be able to disappear into that creative space and write with friends on Zoom or even with strangers that I've still never met in person, but I feel like I've become such close friends with this past year. I feel like the ability to, like, the song will prevail. It will find a way to find us no matter what.